Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm just gonna make a quick video for you guys. I got a request from somebody that wants to learn how to use the Pick 3 system, the rundown system that I have. And we're gonna test some numbers out. And today we're gonna be looking at some numbers out of Texas. So Texas has four draws. All right, so let me get this in here in the picture. I kind of increased the size on this. So we're going to be, so you guys can actually see the full numbers. Um, so we're going to be using the January all the way to, well, up until November or December, which is the recent numbers. And what I learned is Texas has four draws every single day. Okay, there's a morning, there's a day, evening, and then there's a night draw, right? So that's why there's four numbers in each area for Texas. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take some numbers off of this and then we're going to put it into our pick three story system that we have here. So that way we can go ahead and at least understand how we can use what the best rundown to use, what the best way to play the numbers. So a lot of times people when they have like multiple draws in their states, they go from one number to the next number. Like let's say they play mornings to middays to evenings to nights, right? But like for me, I don't play it that way. Some people do, but like for me, I like to play the morning draws will be the same morning draws for the next day. So you go morning to morning to morning to morning, and then if it's midday, 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 midday. So stay in the same area. So it's a lot easier to play it that way than trying to guess the next number for the same day. Because sometimes it may work, it may not work. But it's just up to you though. I can't tell you how to play, but this is for educational purposes only. So just keep that in mind. For my side of it is just really to help you understand how to find numbers using an Excel spreadsheet. So this is an Excel spreadsheet that I have that's called a story system. So this one is really narrowing these things down for you. Let's say I was looking at numbers here earlier. So if I'm going to choose, I'm going to pick a number here off one of the numbers here that played. So we are in the state of Texas, four draws. So we're going to do March 25th. So let's go ahead and pull some numbers here. So let's try March the 5th to March the 6th. Okay, so we're going to use these numbers here. So let me grab these. And so I just got a new laptop, so I'm trying to still get used to it. I'm not an expert yet. So let's see. There it is. Okay, so let's put this in. I'm going to put it on the side here to the number I chose. Okay. So let me put this in. I know you can't see my screen or anything yet because I'm trying to put these numbers out and make sure we have it correctly. So I'm so used to using Windows computer, so I'm still trying to get used to using the Mac side of it. So I don't know if you're an Apple fan or if you're a Windows fan. I'm always using the Windows for a long time, and I decided to get switched over. Okay, so these are all the numbers that were drawn here recently. So let's see if we can put it in this box. Let's paste it here. So you have one, two, three. So three numbers, right? So we'll go ahead and use those. So let's try 039. So that is a number that was played on the date of the 5th of March. Okay, so 039. So the system that I have is pretty cool. So you got to put 039 and it automatic updates when I press this button here. Boom. So it gives you all the combinations, each of the combinations. So there's a combination. This is the mirroring combination, which gives you all the six combinations. 039 comes out as six different combinations, right? 039, 9093, 309, 390. 903,930. And it also gives you the sum of it, the root sum, the breakdowns of the pairs, what pairs can be played. Same thing with the mirror side, and this is the flip side of it. So this is a flip number of the 039. Still the same thing, gives you the full breakdown of it. And then since we're using the system, story system, this that story system has its own rundown. So I can't move it over. Let's see if I can. Let's see how this thing works. Let me just move my whole sheet. See on the right side here, it gives you like the full rundown, what kind of rundown it needs to use. So we'll go ahead and run that story mode. Okay, so here's your story for your winning number. So, and it's a 649 rundown. It's saying that's the best one to use. And the story mode, it says the number 039 is a single number, and the pairs of 0, 030939. Its root sum is number 3. So if you add all together, the 0, 3, and 9, so 9 plus 3 is 12. So then you add the root, which comes back to 3. So that's how this number comes up as. And it's a vibration of creativity and expression. And the mirror is 584. Flip number is 362. And then based on past data, 649 has worked well with a number like this. So since it's a single with a strong pair energy, watch out for numbers, which gives you the same numbers here. And then the mirror numbers here. All right, so let's go ahead and get back on the main screen here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and take this 039 and put it in here. So it's right here, 039. So this sheet that I have here is my own personal sheet, so this one is not for sale. But I have other spreadsheets that are similar to this that is available for you guys to purchase. So if you guys are interested in that, you can just look at the description below to find that out. Okay, so we'll go ahead and clean this up. So it says it's saying that the best route or the best rundown to use is 069 or 049. So let's put that here real quick. 049. Let's combine this here. Where is it at? Merge text. So we're going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and copy from here. There it is. 649 is the best rundown. We'll just leave that there for now. All right, so we'll go ahead and put that in. So we'll go ahead and look for 649 rundown. There it is. And the number that we're going to be playing is 039. And then this is going to be the mirror number is 584. 584. Okay. So then we'll go ahead and run that. So this is a this is a 649 chart that we're using. Okay. So everything else I have is programmed to where what rundowns you're going to be playing is going to be in this drop down. So like 317 rundown, we have a 111 rundown, 123, all these different ones. Right. So but we're going to be using the 649. All right, so we'll go ahead and put that in. So that's what we have. And the date that this played was the 13th. Did I say the 13th? Let's see, where did my... There it is. So right here. Actually, it's the 5th to the 6th. So it's 5th to the 6th. Okay. So let's put this back here. So it's 5th to the 6th. And so let's put 5th to the 6th. And then 039. And the next number that played at that time, the very next day, is 743. So we'll put 743 here. So the way I place most of my stuff is I put the number here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and highlight this, that box. Maybe we'll put it yellow. Can you see that yellow? Okay, so we're gonna put 39. So now we're gonna go ahead and find a date, which is the 6. So we're gonna take the 6 into this box. Okay, so the 6 into that box. So what number will go into that box? So the 678 is going to go up one space up. 678, 1, 2, 3. 678. Oh, what am I doing? It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. So now the 6 is in this box based off of the date. Okay, so the next number that came up is the 743. So let's see if this around the 6 is the 743. Yes, there is. Look at this. So here, here. See, I'm not used to this. Not used to the stuff yet. Okay, there it is. 743 is attached to the 6. Okay, so that's how this number played out on this one. So if I was to play this the same number for the winning of this, so this is the next day, 743. But if I was placed to play the 354, let's see if 354 plays the same day, because the way it works is I don't play the same date for the fifth. If I were to put the fifth here, it's kind of the same. It's not, but it's really barely just touching the three. This one has a full six wrapped around it. But if I was to play the 039, and let's say I still use the six, is there a 354 next to it? 354 goes down this way. 354 plays this way. 354, 453. I mean, you can still probably play in to win that same thing if you would have played that 039. Okay, but I like to keep it the same. So let's say, but if you were to play the number four to try to find if you were trying to find a 354, I will go back. I will go back to the date, the previous date. So that would be the fourth. I would play this number, the 099. Okay, so let's try that 099. So let's go back over here, 099. I run my story system, and there it is, all the combinations. There's only three combinations because this is a paired number. And then we'll go back in here. Now it tells us that the 223 is the best rundown for the 099. So let's try that. So let's get this cleared up. And let's just make these back into white real quick. So, what we do is we switch this out to 223. Okay, so then we hit run. Now we're going to put 099. And now we're going to be playing for the 6 again. So there's a 5. Where's the 6? So since there's no 6 here, see, there's no 6 at all. Oh, no, there is a 6 down here. My bad. So the 6 is down here. So we got to take this 430 into this box here. So you put 430, 985. 985. Okay, so we can go ahead and run that. Now the 6 is here. The 099 is right below it. Okay, so that's the 6. So now the next day's number came up as the 039. So is there a 039 attached to this? 039 is attached to the 6. See it? So right here. So there's a red, red, red. 039, because the previous number was 099. Well, actually, that's a 039. My bad. I'm looking at it differently. It's supposed to be the 354 that we're looking for. So it's supposed to be 354. But somehow the 399 still came up. So let's put this back out. Okay. Is there a 354 plate around this? 354, 354. And it's all attached to the 6 still. You see it? So right here, and right here is all attached to the 354. 354 still attached around, wrapped around the 6. Okay, so, but that's how you can play with this chart. But you just gotta understand which chart to use. Okay, but this is based off of the rundown system that I have. But if you were just to play, like most people like to play, they like to use a 317. We can try 317. So let's go back to 039. Okay, so we go to 039 and let's switch this to 317 chart. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put this down, 317. Okay, so now we're going to still take this 6 back into this box. So now to put this 6 back into this box, we'll have to take the 722 into this box here. 722, 277, 277. Now 277 is a 317 rundown, I believe, is part of the group. Or maybe it's 227 if I'm not mistaken. No, that's not it, because 317 is not part of it. Okay, but let's just keep it there. So the 6 is now here, and the number 30039 is right here, right? It's attached to the 6, but we're playing the 6 right now. Is there a 743 attached to the 6? There's a 43, but there's no 7. There's a 43. Yeah, the 7's way up here because all the 7's are in this row. So it's still attached to it here, 437, because this 2 can be a 7 as well. Then if you look at these 6's, you can choose all the 6's as well. There's probably 4-3. There's probably 4-3 right here too. If you plate the 6 down the middle, let's say we highlight this, 7-4-3 plays this way. You see it? 7-4-3. 7-4-3. And this is playing straight. Okay. 7-4-3. That's based off of the 6. And if you choose this 6 over here, and let's say we go here, here's 4-3. It tells you there's 4-3s attached to the 6. But this one doesn't have a 7 attached to it at all. Unless you go up this way, is the 7. All right, so that's how this one played out with this. Another chart I like to use in Texas is the triple eights. Most people don't like the triple eights because it's a very small chart, but sometimes it's very useful too. So let's try that. 039 584 584. Okay, so let's go ahead and go there. So now we're using the triple eights because this chart is very small. It's going to go run to here and then it's going to repeat. See, right to here and then it repeats. So the whole chart is a repeater, right? But still, again, we got to play it off at a 6 if you want to play it off at a 6. But since the triple eights doesn't produce a 6 in the third column, you can check the second column. If it still doesn't produce a number for 6, you got to try and check it in the first column. So let's try that. So we'll go ahead and highlight the 6 here and remove this. And since this is in the third column already, we'll just go and keep that. So 039. Is there a 743? Look at this. Straight across. Straight across 473. And it's still attached to the 6. It's pretty cool, huh? But you just got to understand how to play these charts. Because the 888 is a very small chart, but it's also very powerful too. Because sometimes you can always, like even right here, if you would have chose the 6 in the middle over here, see, this is 6, 7, 4, 3. See, still attached to the 6. And then if you go down here, if you would have chose this 6 here, 0, 7, 4, 3 attached, it's still attached to here. But this one is the main one. Okay. But that's how this one played out, is the 888 chart. Okay. So it's always and one of the things I learned about the 888 chart too is if you're playing the 888 chart, always look for the 8 and the 9. It should be between the 8 and the 9 somehow. See, this one is the 8 is here and it goes to the 9. It always bounces between the 8 and the 9. So sometimes the 8 might be over here and the 9's down here. It's telling you that the numbers will be going diagonally. Or if the 9 is here and the 8 is here, the numbers might go here into a square. So each of the charts is really, I mean, it's a cool thing, you know. So let's go ahead and clean this up real quick. Remove this back off. And let's try this 354 in the 888 chart. Okay. So 354, and we're still going to go to the 6. Okay. So we're going to go to the 6. So we're going to run that. And now we're going to find the 6. So the 6 is right here. So we're going to bring it into this box here. So now we're going to go ahead and take that 910 into that box here. Now the 6 is here and the 354 is right below. Okay, so now we're going to put 465. 465. And now we're going to run this. So all the 6's are here. So the next day's number for after the 354 on the 6 is 163. So we're going to put 163. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. So somewhere around this, maybe there's against the 6 is there 163. Let's see, the 6 here, there's nothing. Let's try if there's any other 6's here. There's no other 6's. There's a 6 here, but this is the 3 here. It's over here. See, so the 6 is here. So that this is the one that played out here. So if you choose this as one of the main numbers, as a 6, 1, 3. See, so 6, 1. This is what I was talking about earlier. The 8 follows the 9 anywhere it goes. Okay, so this 8 here, let's make it orange, and 9 here. See, 8 follows the 9 anywhere it goes, and where's where all the numbers appear, especially if you're playing the 888 chart. Okay, so 8 to the 9. And somehow it's always like that, no matter where you play. No matter where you play, it's always going to be the next number. It's kind of attached to the 8 to the 9. So that's what I found on the 888 chart. So that's why I always tell people like what chart is the best one to play. 888 is the powerful one. And if you're in Texas and if you want to play it that way, you can. Okay. So, but let's try the midday number. So that was 553. Then it went to 797. So we'll put that in. 553 797. 553 to 797. Okay, that's right. So we'll go ahead and use the 888 again. So we'll go ahead and clear this back off and make this back to white. And 553 008 008. Without anything, let's choose the 8 to the 9 to see if we can narrow this down. So we can either use this here. Let's try this. We can choose this 8 here. We can choose this 8 here, or we can choose this 8 here. So there's 3 8s. Now there's a 9 here. There's a 9 here. There's a 9 here. Okay. So the next number is 797. Okay. So right here, 797. 79. So 779. So block that in here somewhere. There it is. So 797 is what the main number came up as. And look at this. If you would just block this box out here as all red, 8 to the 9 between that box again. So it's really weird in a way, but it's always somehow it's like this. It's anywhere the 8 to the 9 it goes, it's going to be the number in between. But if you would have played the date here, and let's go ahead and erase this here, and let's put it back to the 6, and let's say we're playing the 6. Is there any 6's in this box? Any 6's? Do you see any 6's? See, the 6's are all here. If you would have played the date, you wouldn't got close to it. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, right? So that's the date. But nowhere near that is a 7, 9, 7. Nowhere. because all the 797s are right here. It may play it that way. I mean, if you would have played all the sixes in between, but this still doesn't attach to the 797, like how the 8 and the 9 were. Okay, so but that's how this one played out. So let's try one more. Let's try the last number. The last number was 023 and 446. 023 to 446 right here. 023 to 446. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that in. Let's go back over here. 023446. So we'll go ahead and put this one in. Let's see. Let's go here and make this into text format so we can add the 0. Yeah, all my fonts are crazy. So let's put it as 16 so they're all the same. And let's just bold it so we can see all the numbers. So these are the dates here. Okay, so let's do this. So 023, this is the 888 chart. Okay, 5, 7, 8. Again, the 8 appeared here again. So let's play it off of this. So we'll go ahead and highlight the yellow as 8, and the 9 is up here again. So we'll go ahead and do that. Is there 4, 4, 6 in between? Right here. 4, 4, 6. 4, 4, 6. Right in between the box. Boom. It's pretty wild, huh? 8 to the 9, 8 to the 9, 8 to the 9. So it's pretty wild, huh? So, but that's the Texas side of it. Okay, so let's go to another date. Let's try one more and go to the next date. It's already been 30 minutes already into this video. So let's try the newest number, December. So we are in December. Today's December the 20th. Yep, today's the 20th. So let's move this over. Okay, there we go. So the 20th. All right, so let's do the 19th to the 20th. So let's take all these numbers here, the 9, 2, 3, 6, 5, 1, all that into what we have here. So let's remove all these. And we'll start with 19, 20. The 19th was, we are in December. So the first number is 9, 2, 3. Then it goes to 6, 5, 1. 5, 8, 8 to 9, 7, 2. 7, 6, 8 to 3, 7, 2. Then it goes to 0, 1, 6 to 1, 9, 8. Those are the numbers that came up under that. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and mess with this one. So let's go ahead and clear this off and make it back into white. And we're going to play the 8 to the 9 again, okay? So you guys can learn. So let's do this. So let's go to 9, 2, 3. Oh, 9, 2, 3 is already in there. That's pretty cool. Then it's going to be a 4 and a 4. Oh, probably messed it up. So that's a 7. It's a 4. So 9, 2, 3 is a 7, 4, 7, 8. Okay. So we're going to run the 8s again. And now the 8 is here again. See? See, nothing really changed here. The only number that changes is this 9 here. So does this work? Well, let's give it a try. Let's go ahead and highlight that one yellow. Let's highlight this one yellow again. So it's 6, 5, 1. See? 6. How do you hold this shift down to... What is this thing doing? I'm still trying to get used to which command to use. I think it's this one, yes. 651, 651. Boom. Between the 8 and the 9. And this is crazy too. 8 and 9, 8, 9, and it blocks it out here. Is that while or what? Okay, so now we know. So let's go ahead and clear that off, right? Because 651 is the number that played on that date. So let's go ahead and clear this off to make it white. Let's try 588. So 588 033 033. So we'll go run that again, and we just gotta find out where the 8 and the 9 comes from. So there's two 8s here, and there's a 9, two 9s up here. So this one doesn't have an 8 column at all. These two have the 8 columns. So we're gonna go ahead and take these two and these two. And we'll go ahead and make those yellow. Okay, so let's mess with this with the 8 to the 9. Okay, so it's 9, 5, 8, 8, 2. So now we're looking for 972. There it is, the 972. 972, because then the actual 9 itself that we highlighted is the main number. So if we would put this down as the red, boom, still 8, still back to the 9. Still back to the 9. Very interesting, huh? Okay, so okay, so that's how this one played out, is the 588. Okay, so let's try the next one. So let's go back to this one, clear this one off, and we'll go ahead and do the same thing. 768 213 213. Okay, so we'll go ahead and run the 8s. So now we're going to find the 8s again. So here's an 8. So I think the way it works is this third column might be the trigger. So let's do this. Let's choose this 8 here. Let's not mess with this 8, and we'll choose a 9 here. So now 768, is there a 372 between that? Absolutely. Right here, look. 3372. We'll go back here. Boom. 8 to the 9. 8 to the 9. Pretty wild, huh? You don't have to search all over the place trying to find your number. If you can find the 8 to the 9, you're able to find it. It's pretty wild. But that's how this one played. But you just got to understand where to play it. Because how to play it, you might run several combinations in here. You know, you might play this combination here, you might play this combination in this box, you might play the combination with the same number that appeared with the numbers that came up. It just varies. So this one is the 20th, right? So the 20th, there's probably a 20th somewhere, because the 20th is here, the 20th is here, right? So if you look at this chart on this side, 732 is attached to the 20th. Do you see it? So let's highlight this. All right, so this the same thing over here because the 8 is here. So this is your 20th, and then it attaches to your 21 because the 21 is the next day. So you got to understand as well, this is the date right here, the date. And guess what? The date is over here too for the next day, the 20th to the 21st. So the 21st to the 22nd, right? So if you were to play the 22nd, so let's say we highlight the 22nd here and you don't change anything, just watch. The 22nd is going to be attached to the tomorrow's number. And let's go back to the chart here. Oh, we don't have it because it hasn't come out yet. It hasn't come out yet because I'm in December. I'm playing the 20th to the 21st. So if you were to play the 20th here, And let's see, the 21st. So the 20th is here's 97972. There's nothing here because we're not using, so this is 768. This here is 372. Is there a 016 attached to the 21st? Nothing. But it's still going to be back down here. 016. See, there's nothing. It doesn't show, right? But let's say I change this, let's say I change it from 185 to 016. So if I would have put, let's just let's take this off real quick. Let's go back one day. 185 630 630. Now we're looking for the 8, right? So the 8 is here. There's no 8 in this column. There's a 9 here and the 8 here. So we're going to go back here and highlight the 8 and the 9s. And in between that, what happened to my chart here? So 185 is what we're playing. And we're looking for 016. See, there it is. 016. Boom. Between the 8 and the 9. And look at this. 89 is right in between that as well. See, it's telling you a pattern. The 8 and the 8 and 8 is a magic number for a lot of these pick 3 numbers. So anywhere around the chart, you're going to find your number. But this 888 is a smaller chart, but it brings together a whole different thing for you. It just goes between the 8 and the 9. Even this way. So if I would have chose the 8 and the 9 here, so let's highlight this. There's an 8 up here. There's an 8 up here. And look, 0, 1, 6. And look at what's in between. Boom. The 9 and the 8. It blocks it out. See, it blocks out all the numbers for you. It's telling you where to go. The 8 and the 9 is the magic number in this chart. Okay. So hopefully that gives you more information on this. So if I were to play for tonight, let's say I don't know if you guys already played for the day, but let's say we're going to be playing the night's number for the 918. So 198, and look, 198 is also the magic number, right? So let's try this. 643 43. So we go here. So the 9-8 is here, but you're not going to be playing the 9-8 here. You're going to be playing this 8 going to this 9 here. Because this 0-1 is here, but these numbers are in between. So if I was you in Texas, I would probably play 198. I might play, let's see, the 8, the 8. These are the 8s. These are the blocking numbers. I'll probably play 766. I'll probably play 067. So let's block these out. Or I might even play the 8 because the 8 is the primary number, and if it carries, you might have to play the 998 itself because this can become a double. This can be switched into a double. Or if you think the 998 is being blocked here by a 101, I may play the 108 or 107. Okay, so just check back on these numbers tomorrow and see what came up for tonight's number. Okay, makes sense? All right, so that will conclude the video for us today. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff on this one. If you guys have any questions or anything, or if you have a state that you want me to play, just leave it in the comments below. And then if you like to get an Excel sheet like this, I can, whatever Excel sheet that you guys want me to create, I can always try to build you one. Okay, or if you like this Excel sheet, this is a special one that I have because this is my study sheet. I don't have this one for sale. I may put it for sale, but it's gonna be a little bit pricey for you guys. This one is no. So this is a 317 I used to use too, where if you're playing a 317 chart, if I was playing this, I would match the number here off of this, and then I would go to the 248. So anywhere on this chart where it says 248 is your next number. Okay, so what I mean by that is, so let's go to 923 478 478, right? So I'm gonna run the 317. So I'm gonna look for the nine, the one that ends with a three. Which 317 ends with a three? The 793. So where there's a 793, so right here. So 7 9. Hold on real quick. I'm trying to mess with this thing. 793. So if you highlight the 793, right? The next number is going to be primary. Sometime it appears with the next number. So let's see if this works. It's 379 739. There's 739 up here too. 739. So let's try this here as well. 937 739, because that's the magic number of this 317 right here, 739. So now let's see what the next number is. 923, so 651. Is there a 651 attached to it? Right here, 615 is attached back to the 7. But does it give you like a clear picture of how the other numbers were playing with this, the 0 to the 9 or 8 to the 9? 651. 651. This is interesting too. So if you were to play the 8 to the 9, so let's remove this so there's just not too much crowd in here. So let's say we play this 8 here and we play this 9 here, right? Is there a 6 and a 5 in between? There's a 6 and a 1, but there's a 0. That 0 can flip into a 5. But then if you play the 8, this one to the 9 here is 651. So it looks like this one plays off of the first key. And it's telling you right here, 6, 8, and 9. 615. Even right here, 615, right in between the 8 and the 9. So those are the key points on this one. But I mean, that's just one of the quick highlights for the 317. But we'll get into that next time. But for now, I'll go and conclude the video here for you. So hopefully you guys learned something today. Subscribe to my channel, share this video if anybody knows how to, wants to learn about pick threes, stuff like that. So have a good night, take care of yourselves, and be safe out there. Bye-bye.